dance. We're dancing.
My favorite activity.
Hello, Gail. How are you?
Hello, Nathalie. Thank God, thank God. I am well. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. And you're coming to us all the way from New Jersey.
Woo! I am
Yes,
so excited.
I know. I know. This is amazing. We have people from all over the world. This is really, really amazing. And Gail, you've been with us since the beginning. You've been in the global network. I mean, I'm going to talk about your value and about who you are, but I just want to say that you've been a pillar of this network. And today you are even the chapter leader of New Jersey, US, United States, right? So it's amazing, and we're going to talk about all of the good things. So first of all, Gail's value is gratitude. I love that value. I think it's amazing that you chose that. And the title of your talk is Make Space for Blessings. And we're going to understand why the title, because few words about Gail if you don't know her yet. Gail, we said she's from New Jersey. She's a certified professional organizer, and Gail specializes in helping clients living with brain based conditions that impede their ability to organize. And so, thus, the make space for blessing. Now it all connects. So, I first want to ask you the question that I ask every speaker, which is why gratitude? Why did you choose the value of gratitude? Tell us why this value is special for you.
Thank you so much. Well, okay, I thought deeply about that. And my knee jerk was to say, well, this just totally resonates with me. It's one of my deepest core values. I have an attitude of gratitude. I call myself Grateful Gail. And I thought, well, why do I do that? And I put some real brain to it. And I thought, oh gosh, that probably went back a really long time ago. Um, and I was 22 when I lost my mother. And I realized along the way, like, you know what? I have to be grateful for every single day. Whatever comes my way. And one of her best sayings was, there's a silver lining in every cloud, and out of something bad comes something good. So she really imbued me with that value. And I've tried to take that into the rest of my life for the last 30 odd years. Um,
Wow.
so, yeah, it
Wow.
was a powerful realization.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I didn't know that about you, and thank you for sharing. First of all, and it's such a young age, of course, being 22. But you have taken an amazing lesson from this. I mean, not that we don't need that for this, but if already, right? That is amazing. And so you call yourself Grateful Gail.
Yes, I
Wow,
do.
tell us more about that.
It is an attitude of gratitude, and I think about it daily. I really do. I try to stay very mindful, and this is me personally before I get into anything related to the business. Just being mindful of what I have, what is really important. Um, and it's hard to feel bad sometimes, and I know we all go through these bouts. Hannah was just saying about life was just, forgive me, life was sucking just a little while ago. And and it's like, okay, yeah, right now life may suck. However, if I take a moment and I really think about like what's going well, what's going right, what's the good, how can I identify just one bright spot in my day? It helps to elevate, and I think it really makes us stronger in that we can approach the yuck with more positivity, and I'll get into that again as
Yeah.
well. And one of my favorite phrases is when somebody says, "So, how are you?" It's like, you know what? I'm vertical. Everything else is gravy.
Love it. Love it. And so you talk about, you say, like, I'm trying to really be mindful. And I would love to, we spoke it with Batran, about practicality. So, we're being practical here. But can you share with us some of your gratitude practice? Because if you do that every day, we would love to hear. And by the way, if you are here in the chat and you have also a gratitude practice, please share it. But I would love to hear, like, how are you mindful, or how do you express your gratitude? Like, what are your practices?
Okay, so it's a bit secular and a bit in the spiritual realm. So as I was thinking about all of this, I decided I could call myself a Balat Teshuvah in training.
Which means we have to translate.
Yes, returning to Judaism. That's my understanding, and I will put out there I'm a very secular living person. However, I also say I have a foot in two camps. I may dress secular and have a secular life and a secular business. However, I am on a path of growth. And I've been on this path for a while since my son was born 24 years ago. And I decided, you know what, if I'm going to teach him how to be a Jewish person, I better learn something better myself. So I found Chabad, and I love Chabad. And I think we have a few Chabad type people on the summit. So I drank the Kool-Aid. And I realized how little I knew. So I've been learning a lot. And one thing I've learned is that Judaism is all about gratitude. Like
Wow.
it just is. When I realized that, I thought, oh gosh, how could I talk about anything else?
Wow. Which just shows us that there are no like two different truth, or two different lives, or two different aspects. It's just the same, right? It's
Sure.
just, Jewish values are universal values, and you can find gratitude just like you do it in your business, in your Jewish spiritual life, and so it's all the same.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And what I start with as a practice for gratitude is I make sure I may look at my phone a little bit sooner, but I will say Moda Ani first thing in the morning. First
So
wake
tell us more in English. Like, what does it mean? And tell us more, like, what is the meaning behind those words?
I'm glad you asked that because I did look it up.
Good.
I found that modeh, it comes from the root of to thank.
Right.
And there's probably more for the acknowledgement. I have a little cheat sheet, I will say.
Okay, no problem.
So when we thank God, we're acknowledging that my understanding is we are a little bit of a spark of God, that there is a higher power, that we're not alone. There is something guiding us, and we just like literally waking up and saying, "Thank you, God, for giving me my soul. That I have eyes, I have ears, I have all of this physical ability. I can breathe, I can get up, I can take care of my body to do more mitzvot, go out in the world and do good things and follow commandments and do nice things for people and just really be a physical person who is literally bringing us a bit of heaven down to earth in a very practical way."
So that is amazing, because as you know, as a lot of people know, there is such a thing as morning routines, right? A lot of people speak about morning routine. I have a morning routine, and when I hear you talk, I feel like there is this whole religious aspect of the morning routine, and then, or the Jewish, Judaism, routine, or however, and then there is this business, or more like personal development realm of morning routine. But really, it is the same, because you might say it in Hebrew, or in English, or in French, for all I care, or you might say those words or other words. But when people, say that you should journal in the morning, or you should say your mantras, or you should, say gratitude, express gratitude as soon as you get up, it's exactly the same thing. So it's so interesting to see how one, feeds or inspires the other, and that we're not two separate beings. We're the same. And it's not like one that has Jewish values and does the commandments, and one that, has, is inspired by personal development practice. But basically, it's all the same, and it's really what works for us and how we feel about it, right? And what how we're going to be able to implement that. So I think it's just amazing that you're bringing the two together.
Thank you. And I think especially for women, because women tend to be holistic, relational beings. We
Right.
are we are one. Men will say, "Oh, you just have to compartmentalize, business
Right.
is here, family," but no,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
not for women.
That's the feminine, right?
Our
That,
brains are
yeah.
wired differently. We
Yes.
have more connections between the two hemispheres. We see connections between everything.
And if we get up in the morning and we don't express our gratitude, it's not going to work in our business, and it's not going to work with our kids, and the other way around. And if we do express the gratitude, then it's going to be a ripple effect of positive energy. So I love that. And talking about ripple effect, you specifically said we need to make space for blessings. And so I know, as a professional organizer, space is sacred for you, because that's the place where you work, that's the place where your magic happens. And so tell us the connection, like, where do you see the connection between having a safe or calm or clear environment and gratitude? Because I could say I do my mantras, I say I'm very grateful when I get up in the morning, but my house is a mess. Like, what is, how, why do I need to have, right, an organized space in order to feel the gratitude? Can you tell
Oh,
us how this is connected?
yes, and I have so many thoughts about that. One is when I get to work with more observant clients than I am, I will talk to them about how we are decluttering a home and creating systems, because we are creating a little Beit HaMikdash,
A holy space,
the
right? A
holy
whole.
space, right, in the home. And of course, we know that the home is the center of all of our values. And we, as Jewish people, we practice in the home. It's our home base, our center. We don't have to go out always. I mean, we love to be in a synagogue, but we know that it all takes place in the home. So it is very practical as well, because if a physical space is very cluttered, and I do sometimes tend to work with people who hoard, so it can be extremely cluttered, there is no physical room and no mental space and no heart space and no head space to allow in anything else. So if we are clearing the physical space, we are literally making room on a very practical level for new and good things to come in.
Wow.
And as a result, we feel better. We feel better emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, intellectually. It's literally like roto-rootering your whole life.
Wow. Wow. I love this because I have very often, I don't know how often, but very often I have like this urge of cleaning and organizing. And I'm like, okay, today it's the closet. Today it's the kitchen. Like, I get those urges, and I never know it before, but I realize after that something big is happening. Like, I don't know it before. I'm not prepared for this. I don't think about it, right? But then I do the kitchen or I do the closet, and then I'm like, oh, that's why I needed to make some space, because something big, an idea or a vision, or I needed to think about something while I'm doing the cleaning and the decluttering, and it always goes together. So is it connected? Because I thought, okay, so maybe only me, but you're saying that this is something that is more common.
Yes, and two things I'm thinking as you were saying this. One, sometimes it's related to our cycles. Women
Ah,
are very cyclical. You know,
okay.
even if we're in menopause, we
Yeah, I
still
was gonna say I'm after the cycles.
yeah, we still have that cycle thing going on, because it's the way
Okay,
our bodies work. Um,
interesting.
so we might, there might still be estrogen and progesterone peaks and valleys. So that may give you the impetus and the energy to, like, oh yeah, you know what, I got to make some space here. And the second is they're creating a vessel. If you have a clogged up vessel, or say you have a bowl or whatever it is, just for sake of an image, and there's stuff stuffed into the bowl, well, there's no room for anything new to come in. So when you're clearing out, whether it's a closet, a drawer, a file system, your time management system, your whole business, you are opening up that vessel. Say a vein, right? If a vein is clogged, the blood can't get through. But if you open the vessel, then the blood can get through, and everything just flows so much more smoothly. So you're creating a way for good things to come in.
Wow. And so this is how you're connecting this to gratitude and bringing blessings,
Yes.
right? So I love this because we could think that receiving blessing is a very passive thing. Like, I'm here, I'm receiving, waiting to receive blessings, but you're turning this into something much more active, proactive. Like, if I'm grateful and if I'm decluttering, then I will bring the blessing into my life, into my home. Is that what
Absolutely.
you're saying?
And it's also a recognition of just how much abundance we do have. People will say, "Oh, I just can't get rid of this because it means XYZ, and I'm feeling a certain way." Often my clients tend to have depression, anxiety, OCD, all of these very deep-seated feelings that they don't always recognize how much they really do have. So they're always looking for the next hit, so to
Right.
speak. Like a drug addict will look for the
Ooh,
next fix.
right.
Someone who clutters or hoards may be looking for that next big thing that would make them feel better.
Mm,
Whereas sometimes to pause, realize just how much you do have, and connect to that higher power that is the source of all abundance, can
yes.
help to change the mindset.
I love it. We have Shulamit who says, yes, we have to be empty to receive. I love how you're bringing spirituality to the decluttering space. So that's Gail. That's our Gail. Gail is exactly that. Sharon says, hi, Gail. Organize holiday food today. So Sharon
Oh,
is organizing her holiday food. Well, good luck with that.
yes.
Lauren is Lauren is saying when a home is decluttered, it's much easier to clean. Definitely, right?
Yes.
I've helped seniors declutter and move homes. One woman told me she felt lighter physically and emotionally after the first part of the project was finished. Wow.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. That's really, really amazing. And so your practice of gratitude, we started with that, and I want to end with this. So you're saying a sentence, you're saying modern, you're thanking God in the morning when you wake up. Is there another gratitude practice that you have, whether it's related to Jewish values or to your business? Like, how do you practice gratitude? And
So many ways. So I
anyway,
was first in my business. I realized a long time ago, when I used to be a CPA, and I absolutely hated it. CPA, for anybody not in the US, is a certified public accountant. Hated it.
I
Awful.
cannot imagine you as a CPA either. So I think you're good.
Oh, it was a means to an end at the time. Uh,
Right.
I learned from that experience that a simple thank you, excuse me, just saying thank you goes a very long way, because we were breaking our butts, busy season or not, just to get things done. And for people who absolutely resented what we were doing for them.
Right.
Um, so when we found the management would say, thank you. I really appreciate all the hard work you're doing. So I've brought that into my business, and I try very mindfully to say to my team, my clients, any vendors I work with, just thank you so much for everything that you're doing. You know, People who stock groceries in the store, do we ever stop and think, like, how does it get this way? Because
Right.
there are people working overnight to make sure that we have stocked shelves. Like, this is just, phenomenal. So who really recognizes these people who are working their tails off for us? Mm,
Right. So
uh,
saying thank you, as simple as that, saying thank you, being
mhm.
mindful of the people around you.
I have two other little things.
Yes,
One
please.
is, you had said a gratitude journal. So yes, I know about gratitude journals, but I also read a book called The Gap in the Gain, a
Oh,
secular book written by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy,
love Dan Sullivan.
to realize on a daily basis, this is what you've done. You're not looking at what you haven't done, you're looking at what you did do. So at the end of the day, just write down three things that you did, whatever it is. It might be you got out of bed and brushed your teeth,
Right,
because depressed people can't always do that.
right.
Um, and oh gosh, there was another, but
Well, I can tell you that Karen is already saying yours is my favorite topic so far, Gail. Wow.
oh, thank
Yeah.
you, Karen.
And
That was
Hillary is saying, so true, a simple thank you. Love that. Amazing. Wow, wow, amazing. Well, Gail, thank you so much for this inspiration. You also have a gift in our gift page that I hope that people are going to grab before it's too late. Reflecting on what you've done is so helpful. Yes, I don't know yet who said that because there is a delay. But this is really amazing. Thank you for all the light that you bring in the world, because it's true that to be able to connect decluttering with gratitude and spirituality is quite really not a challenge, but an amazing thing that you do. So thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you
And
for
thank you for also being in the network for so long. You've been such a pillar in the global network. So we love having you.
my pleasure. I love being here. You all are just incredible.
Thank you so much, Gail. Thank you, Shana Tova. And
That's a
we will move on to the next guest.